Cuban National Yuri Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael were slapped with 19 charges when they appeared in the Vigilance and Sparendam Magistrates Court. The couple, who are the principal owners of Accelerated Financial Company, are said to have defrauded scores of Guyanese billions of dollars. When the matter was called before Magistrate Marissa Metahouse, the court heard that between May and July, Dominguez and Ishmael collected some $24.7 million from 13 persons under false pretense in an alleged Ponzi scheme. They were both placed on $300,000 bail on each of the 13 charges. However, the couple were remanded on 6 charges filed against them in the Sparendam Magistrates Court before Magistrate Alicia George. Those charges are for obtaining money under false pretense, which amounted to over $1 million. They were both remanded to prison by Magistrate George. All the charges were heard virtually by the magistrates. Outside the courtroom at Vigilance, the move to charge the couple was greeted with protests, with those on the picket line calling for their release.
Because he don't have license. Because they rob people and give this man a license. Everybody making a good living out of this man.
We not gonna get for it. He money we not mine now. So they got to free him. They got to free him today. Yes, got to free him. You never scam nobody.
The pandemic, you will make plenty keep people alive. He was the man make people get to eat and live. Nobody else. Another like the man up, let the man call and give you a license that you're going to go back again, and people can start live together again.
He helped you, and 17,000 Guyanese he helped you, and we want to be free.
Pandemic time he was helping out all of us, so we could eat and pay with bills.
It's illegal, let them find who chef the cooking with the rice.
You want him to be free?
Yes, he must be free and give him license to run his business. That's what they want. This is not illegal. This help out the poor people in Guyana.
Attorneys at law Glenn Hanuman and Dexter Todd both said it is a civil matter.
That were read today. A very important aspect that I sought to point out to the court is that in none of the charges was it alleged that a complainant had demanded the money back from the company and the company had refused to pay it back. What has happened here is that we've had widespread panic because of intervention by senior government functionaries, and people have been encouraged, those persons who have civil and private arrangements have been encouraged to make complaints of a criminal nature. So it is the same government, well, maybe not the same government, but the government was instrumental in closing the accounts of the company. So in effect, they prevented money from coming back, but yet encouraged people to make reports about not being paid. And, none of the allegations say that. You see, when persons who were supposed to receive the money after a month, many times they will ask the company to reinvest it, and reinvestment. So for me, it's not a criminal matter at all, it's a civil matter, and it has been blown completely out of proportion. The government as well as the police have encouraged us to try and settle these matters. Many of the complaints made today have already been settled financially. Unfortunately, the police didn't invite the complainants to come to court, so they can tell the court that they've already received some of their money.
We have advocated that these matters are private in nature. All the complaints that are made forms part of a contract. I have said it in court, I will now say it publicly. What the state has done is to impose themselves as a third party to a private contract, and they are forcibly allowing the course of a criminal nature to take shape, which ought not to be. If you have an opportunity to read the contract, you will understand that the parties have signed themselves to an agreement, and they have dictated in that contract as to how their businesses are to be conducted. Now, I will say that the company, first of all, let us be clear, we are dealing with a company as opposed to two separate individuals. The company has not been brought, but their agents or their directors have been brought to the court for actions of the company. Now, there are legal ramifications in relation to that, and the police have not crossed that hurdle. To bring the parties in their personal capacity before the court for a criminal charge that they are saying was clothed by a company invites a number of questions, a number of legal questions. I can say very clearly that the prospects of a success of this matter is very slim, because they will have to cross the hurdle of convincing any court of law that these matters arose out of a criminal nature and not of a private nature.
Free urine! Free urine! Free urine! Free urine! Free urine! Free urine! Free urine!
The couple would make their next appearance on September 18th and 21st at the Spirandam and Vigilance Magistrates Courts.